is today's starting grid. The top 10 drivers in the chase start up front.
Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth, and this is going to be easy to follow the chase drivers here for a while.
Sure is. Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin in row 2.
Back in row 3, Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Mark Martin and Casey Kane will fill out row 4.
And then we find Jeff Gordon and his teammate at Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Busch.
Take a look at the rest of the starting grid. The Chasers start in the top 10 spots. Benny's on the radio.
Mark Martin, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Yeah, Benny, I got you.
All right, you gained a few points at Martinsville last week. You're 96 back. Is that too many to make up in the next 4 races?
No, man, we're in this thing. We just need to win today. That's what we're going to be shooting for here. We didn't have any luck with our practice yesterday. So AAA team just threw up under this thing to set up from the spring where we ran second with. We're hoping that that'll be the trick today.
So you took all that stuff out your practice and went back with a spring setup.
Yeah, we hadn't even practiced on this deal. We just never did get the car going on the other stuff, that newfangled stuff, you know. So we're going to be running old school here today and hoping that it works well for this track today.
We'll be watching you. Thanks, Mark.
Mark Martin, one of the 10 drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Just 4 races to go, including this 500-mile race today here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Take a look at the rest of the starting grid, the guys that will have to come from deep in the field. And again, qualifying here was rained out, so the field was set by the NASCAR rulebook. 4 drivers didn't make the race. Robbie Gordon, Ken Schrader, and Bill Elliott all have to drop to the back of the field. Rained here on Friday, was chilly yesterday. The sun came out late yesterday afternoon. It's a beautiful day in Atlanta. 500 miles for the stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. The Chasers in the top 10 spots. Here we go.
And I tell you what, this race is pretty spirited because every one of these top 10 drivers would love to get the 5 bonus points you get for leading a lap. And it looks like it might be Harvick.
And it was. Kevin Harvick leads lap number 1. Denny Hamlin in the 11, a little different look. Carrying the FedEx Cup colors this week on his 11 machine, looking back at Jimmy Johnson. Dale Earnhardt Jr. around Johnson. Out front. Let's check with Dave.
And Bill, you guys talked about it. So important to lead a lap and get those 5 bonus points. Kevin has not led any laps in the chase since his dominating win at New Hampshire. That was the first race of the chase. He's been skunked ever since in the laps led category.
Boy, look at that 8 car. Junior is going somewhere, Wally.
And you know, these guys, it's fun to see already here at Atlanta. They're using all the racetrack already. It's not like, well, the groove is going to move up. It's already up there. These guys are already 3 wide, especially down in 3 and 4. So far, Junior's moving forward. Marty, what's he saying?
Well, he's very happy with the race car, as you would imagine. That's based on practice yesterday. They had a run right before the end of practice. Junior said he liked the last run they did. He didn't like so much, so they put it back to how they were earlier. If there's a racetrack Junior loves, this is it. Just what you talked about, Wally. Trouble.
Car around. He just got way high going into turn 3. The car got away from him, just clipped the 25 car Vickers.
All right, guys, get ready.
And he was up there all by himself. The car looked like it got a little bit loose. He got really, really high, kept it off the wall.
First caution of the day.
4 tires here, guys. 4
was
tires.
running in the 8th spot.
And he is trying to pass Casey Kane, that 9 car, on the outside. And you're right, Wally. It looks like he just got some of that loose stuff, the debris up there, and around he goes.
Right in front of Jeff.
Oh, and he just barely caught the front of that car. He almost got away with it.
Almost got away with it. Just, he tried saving it there, and he had to turn it off the wall just a little bit.
Look at Burton right there.
A lot of guys just going through blindly. You just watch the smoke when you're going through here. I mean, this is what you see when something happens.
down on you.
Well, he was actually lucky because he saw the 5 car going down the racetrack, so he knew if he didn't move, it'd be gone by the time he got there.
It's the second week in a row he's had trouble early, although this time it looks like Burton got through without any damage. A week ago, ran into the back of Nemechek.
But that looked exactly like Kansas when the 12 car, Ryan Newman, spun in front of Burton,
that's right.
and he couldn't see anything.
Pit road is open. None of the leaders are coming. We'll step out. Bass Pro Shops 500 underway at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Wally, I'm impressed with that 24 car because as badly as they struggled yesterday, I wonder if they were going to make it. But here he is battling Jimmy Johnson's teammate for the 5th position.
Top 27 cars did not come down pit road. Brian Vickers did stay out. We'll get an update on that. Dale Jarrett in the 88, too fast exiting. Tail end of the longest line. He's 42nd.
You see the 24 down on the bottom of Denny Hamlin, takes that spot away. So maybe some of that head scratching down there did him some good.
It looks like it. That's the 4th position.
Update on the 24 from Allen.
Yeah, Bill, it's going to be an interesting day to watch Jeff Gordon. Steve Letarte, the crew chief, told me this morning that 90% of the chassis setup under this car is what they've been running throughout these summer months and running well with. But 10% of the setup are things they found in a test at the Homestead Miami Speedway recently that they think not only can help make them faster here, but might help their teammate Jimmy Johnson be faster over the final 3 races beyond today. They're not necessarily considering themselves one of the threats to win the title, though they haven't given up. But they think what they find today might help their teammate who's a little farther up in points. Be interesting to see how it goes.
It will be. And Steve Letarte said this morning in the garage that they've already got their cars lined up for the final races after today.
Got Earnhardt taking a look on the outside, going to take the lead away from Kevin Harvick.
And he will come by and get those 5 bonus points. We talk about 5 bonus points like it's a lot, but in this business, it is a lot.
Marty?
Yes, Bill, as I was telling Wally before the caution came out a moment ago, Junior just loves this racetrack, and he loves it because of what Wally talked about. You can run all over this racetrack, but what Junior really likes to do, he likes the high line in 3 and 4, and in 1 and 2, kind of the middle group. Sometimes he'll run the bottom, but he doesn't go up to the very top in 1 and 2 until the very end of the run. You see him sort of in the middle there. He likes it 1 lane higher on those older tires, but he loves just running all over this racetrack. And Wally, I know you guys, you drivers, just love to be able to run all over a racetrack, don't you?
Yeah, and if you watch Junior, I mean, a lot of the places like on this mile-and-a-half racetrack, he likes to run really, really high, especially getting off the corners. He likes to run that high line. And if you can get your car to handle, it's fast that way because you carry a lot of momentum off the corners. That's what's real important at a place like Atlanta here, is not to bog the car down. So that's where Junior likes to run. If Junior's car is comfortable, he's going to be tough to beat because he's very good at running that line. See right there how he just kind of just stays along that wall on the outside. You've got to have a good car to do that. But if you do, it's going to be fast.
Talking to Tony Uri Jr. this morning, some of those guys on the A crew were saying that car is going to take a couple of laps to get up to speed, but when it does, it's going to go.
Well, so far they were truthful.
Right on it. Harvick in second. An update from Dave. He's being challenged by the 17.
And he goes back to the bottom, Bill. He had tried the high line for a couple of laps there, something that Kevin doesn't like to do, something crew chief Todd Barrier told me he rarely even asked Kevin to try. But the spotter had told him that the 17 and the 48 were running up there, and they ought to try it. Kevin now dropping back down to the inside because he feels like that's where his car will work better.
Hey, Dave, that was a fun interview in the countdown to green.
Well, you know, it wasn't exactly us who had been talking about Kevin making this trip.
Right.
And
But you
perhaps, but I took the brunt of the blow, didn't we?
Way
Yes.
to be a team player. Oh, 3 wide.
Yep, and he's going to get past right here. And obviously the guys don't feel like missing just a little practice yesterday will affect them. Most of these guys are going to be working hard on their cars all day long because this place will change.
Exactly right. Probably have about 10 chances to make your car a little bit better today. This is for the lead at Atlanta. 109 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has it. Jeff Gordon trying to take it away.
Oh, careful, boys. Careful. Man, that was close.
Clear, and thank you, Mr. Earnhardt, for not wrecking me. Although I'll get you loose anyway, because I didn't like you sliding up in front of me like that.
Junior said in the pre-race show that he was going to have to be more aggressive, right?
Well, let me tell you, when a guy does a slide job like that, the horns come out of the helmet. They grow.
Do you speak from experience there?
I always have horns, but Junior's a nice guy, and when he had that happen to him just then, he's like, well, not sure I like that too much.
110 laps complete, working lap 111. Earnhardt has led 62 laps. We'll watch the leaders and take you through the field, starting with Dale Earnhardt Jr. And here's Mr. Snyder.
And Mr. Weber, he's back up front, and he told me aggressive but smart. No more mental errors. The one thing that he's done, he's changed his line. Remember earlier, he was running the bottom in 1 and 2, the top in 3 and 4. Now he's doing the opposite. Bottom in 3 and 4 and the top in 1 and 2. It seems to have helped, but Junior has picked up a tight condition here midway through the run. Alan?
It's interesting watching Jeff Gordon move around to different lines on the racetrack, because Steve Letarte, the crew chief, told me this morning that these Nextel Cup cars have gotten so finely tuned now that the driver just about has to pick the line he wants to run and let the crew chief adjust from there. Steve said not to look for Jeff to run the very bottom in 1 and 2. It's too bumpy for the setup they have on the car, Matt.
And Tony Stewart runs in the 3rd position. The car, he says, is now too free on entry and too free on exit. Started today in the 11th position, currently runs 3rd. He's led 32 laps today. Meanwhile, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Now, it's interesting, back at driver intros, Jimmy and Jeff Burton were going back and forth about one guy losing the championship lead, the other guy picking it up, and back and forth just about the luck and how to keep your team mentally prepared for the long chase.
We've wanted it so bad and we've tried so hard. It's more of a deal now where I've got to almost pull the reins back on the guys and say, look, we know we can do this. Let's not want it so bad that we cause problems and create issues. Let's just be smart and just do what we know how to do.
Gordon once again trying to work under Earnhardt for the lead.
Jeff just can't let that car drift. Maybe he can this time. Yes, he can.
Drifts up in front of Earnhardt.
He wanted to make sure he gave him enough room this time. He didn't want to come back and get him loose down in 3 and 4.
Earnhardt looking to close up.
He got a little bit of arrow push there. You can see he went down underneath it. He got there, and all of a sudden he lost the nose. The car slid up. He had to back off a little bit.
That was a perfect example of arrow push.
Yeah.
So Gordon leads 115 laps complete. We continue going through the field. Matt?
And Bill, while Jimmy Johnson, his car had a life of its own on entry, Jeff Burton says his car has just gotten tighter and tighter on this run, but the comfort level is better. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car says his car, for whatever reason, has really gotten tight in the center and loose on exit. He told his team we really need to work more on fixing the center versus the exit. AB?
Carl Edwards has won 2 of the 4 times he's raced the Nextel Cup car here, having a solid day right now, up to 7th. He started back in 12th place. Just talked to his crew chief Wally Brown about the handling of the car, and overall not too bad for this stage of the race for the 99. Matt?
The 07 Clint Boyer was 2nd yesterday in the NASCAR Busch Series race. Now his crew chief Gil Martin's been telling Clint, just save your right front tire. Now we're seeing tire wear like we did in the spring. The first run showing some excessive significant wear going down to the cores, but as the day wears on, more rubber gets into this green racetrack and the wear gets better, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. Gil telling him that we'll work on that tight race car on the next stop. Marty?
Well, Matt, Casey Kane told me on Friday, he said, one of the things that has made me most proud, especially here in the second half of the season, we're making our cars better throughout a race. Earlier on, Casey Kane and his team struggled a little bit with a race car that was a little too loose. They've been getting it better the longer they run, although this is the beginning part of the run where they get worried about those right front tires. This is where the cord started showing earlier on. Alan?
Nice little rally going on for Matt Kenseth. He was shuffled back to 15th after the pit stop. We showed you when he overshot the box a few minutes ago. The team thinks that they've figured out what's causing the rub on the inside of the right front tire. They have a hose to blow air on the right front tires inside to help its lifespan on the racetrack. They're going to try and push that back a little bit on the next pit stop. Marty?
Alan, on both sets of tires that came off Mark Martin's car were no problems, no cords at all. They look beautiful. And Mark is saying the car's a little bit too loose, but the longer they go, the better this race car get. Mark wants to put himself in position. As he told BP earlier, they have to win today if they feel like they have a chance to win this championship. Dave?
Well, Kevin Harvick restarted 19th on the grid here, and what do you guys show now? 21st for Kevin?
That's correct.
Yep, 21st right now. Has gone backwards just a little bit, trying to find his way back into competition here. His car was loose into turn 1. That was the main complaint. Made a track bar adjustment and 4 tires, but so far it hasn't helped him. Alan?
And Denny Hamlin has fallen back quite a bit in this field as well. Just like Matt Kenseth, he slid through his pit box. His box also on pavement instead of concrete. Lost about 5 spots on the last stop. Not long after the restart, said his car just won't handle when it's in traffic, and that's causing him some issues on the racetrack. Dave?
Kyle Busch's car now reporting no grip. The thing that they had to work on after the front end damage was fixed is that the car was really in the racetrack. No, I mean really in the racetrack, bottoming out hard. And so they went under the hood, made some adjustments to the shocks there, raised the car up, get it off the track for Kyle. Seems to have helped a little bit, but he's off the pace today.
Thanks, Dave. Kyle Busch, 28th. One of many cars 1 lap down. There are 17 cars scored on the lead lap. The last one being Denny Hamlin.
You know, listen to what Marty was talking about. The 6 car. The 6 car's times right now are as good as anybody's, if not better than a lot of cars. The problem is Mark can't give up 15 seconds before his car starts working. That's right now. He's 15 or 16 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. They've got to get that car, BP, working better on the get-go, or they're not going to have a shot at this.
Maybe the last half of the race, as the sun starts going down and it starts getting colder, maybe that will help. His car.
You can't bump draft here at Atlanta, right?
No.
Because Gordon's leading and Earnhardt's second. And their friendship really bonded after Talladega. Jeff has 4 wins here in Atlanta. Was 4th in March, 2nd last October. He's the leader right now. Casey Mears was the lucky dog.
I tell you what, Wally, Kevin Harvick hiring Ron Hornaday to drive his Craftsman truck was one of the best things he's ever done, because Hornaday has taught Kevin Harvick restarts. He is really, really good on these restarts anymore. Oh, battle for the lead. Here comes the 8 car.
As we've seen all day long, the 8 car is really fast for 10 or 15 laps. Then it seems like his car falls off a little bit, and that's where Stewart and Gordon and those guys were able to run him down and catch him.
And it's going to start getting interesting now, because as you talked about a few minutes ago, BP, the sun is getting lower in the sky, a lot more shade on the racetrack.
And you start with that shade, you're going to start getting more grip. And all these guys that are talking about being too tight now, it's just going to get worse and worse.
We'll watch the action on the track and check with Marty Snyder.
Well, I found Jamie McMurray, and speaking of shade and light, let's find out if we can shed some light on what happened. What went on back there when you hit the 24?
I'm not real sure that, you know, the sun is in your eyes so bad getting into turn 1 that by the time I could see the corner, I was already committed to going where I was, and I heard my spotter say, you know, someone's slow, but on old tires here, it's somewhat like Darlington. You're just sliding, and by the time I could see him, you know, I was like 3 foot from him, and you know, I ran into the back of him. I'm not sure if he had a tire go down or what happened. He was going really slow at the top of the racetrack, and just nowhere for the Crown Royal Ford Fusion to go.
For you guys, this has been such a rough season, Jamie. You're going to be able to get back out?
Probably. I mean, it's been so bad you almost laugh right now. It just seems like if something can go wrong, it does. And I did get mad, but it didn't really do any good. So now you just laugh it off, and hopefully next weekend it'll get better.
He said that he will find Jeff Gordon and apologize, but he said by the time he got into the shaded area, he was already on top of him. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah, I think what happened, Marty, is I think Gordon had trouble up there. He probably lost the car. He slid up to the top of the racetrack, slowed down as we're looking at the glare going into the corner there. But this happened way down into the corner. But regardless, I think Gordon had problems. He slid up. He was up against the wall. And that's when McMurray came in and had no place to go.
Got your shades, BP?
Pardon me?
Got your sunglasses?
I'm telling you, you need your sunglasses. Now, watch this. You go down the front straightaway by the start-finish line. And, folks, this is what you're driving into, the sun. And it's glaring back in the windshield. And this is what you see. Nothing.
Now, some of these guys have tape on the windshield. Some of them will have dark visors. Some of them will even be wearing sunglasses at this point of the race, that, you know, because they know it's coming. So some of them have a little bit better than we do right now.
Alan?
Let's answer definitively what happened to Jeff Gordon after they finished making their 5 pit stops. He took the time on the team radio to explain to Steve Letarte and the crew.
I tell you what happened. That sun's so bad because the time of day they got this race going, he couldn't even see me going in there.
He being the 26 that hit you in the back. What'd you do, have a flat tire before that, buddy?
I don't know if it's left front or right front, what it was, but I went flat and I did a great job keeping it out of the wall. I was all excited and then wham from behind.
And let's get the update from Steve Letarte. Steve, how about the damage on your car? What kind of shape you in?
I think we got the damage fixed up pretty well. You know, the guys here in the DuPont Nicholas Chevrolet have done a great job all year long, and I'd like to take a minute and thank everyone back at Hendrick Motorsports. You know, 550 employees make this possible, and we really had a lot of fun racing.
So you think you're okay? Has he given you any feedback yet?
No, he hasn't said anything. That's usually a good sign.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Wally, you were dead on.
Yeah?
I didn't realize you'd had a flat tire. You were dead on.
I figured they had to have some kind of problem for the 26 car, who wasn't really running that great. In order for him to catch and run into and wreck the 24, Jeff had to be having some problems.
And all that damage on the front of it, you knew he was moving at a rapid rate of speed, and the 24 wasn't. And you have to consider that Gordon's lucky he didn't have more damage, didn't end up with the wall.
Yeah, because that could have been really, really bad.
78 to go here in Atlanta. Nobody can make it to the finish from here without stopping. You comfortable with that, BP?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Denny Hamlin in that 11 car trying to race his way back onto the lead lap. One of the 10 drivers in the chase. Hamlin driving with the FedEx Cup colors this week.
17 car Kenseth is a little bit loose right now. Last couple of laps, looked like he had his hands full. It looks like Junior in the 8 car was catching him a little bit, but now he drops back as Stewart got in trouble.
Yeah, hard against the wall.
Oh, Casey Kane.
Casey Stremmy's in the wall
David
hard.
Stremme involved.
I don't think Casey may have just slid up against the wall. I don't see how much damage he has, but his car looked fairly clean on the left side and front and back.
The car's hurt bad.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a gutter.
Right now, Kane 8th in the chase as they run at this moment.
Oh, he got run into.
by Kane, I guess.
Wow. Casey Kane probably thought he was clear, didn't know the 40 was up there, but because you saw Casey just went hard to the right. Yeah, he was going up there to get his angle down into the corner, and probably was pretty surprised.
On board with Jeff Burton.
There we go. Oh, man, they just hooked together.
Keep digging, buddy. Keep digging. Keep digging. Good job.
And Stremme is in that wall hard.
Again, I don't know how you can't see him. He was right next to him.
Marty?
Yeah, guys, Casey Kane said that was completely my fault. He said to his spotter and cousin Cole Kane, you told me he was there. I just messed up. And then he was very upset on the radio, took complete blame, turned right into the 40 car, and may have cost these guys a shot at the championship.
One here in the spring. That car has 5 of his 6 wins this season, but does not look like it will go to victory lane here today. Under caution in Atlanta, just 76 to go. Well, we knew coming into this race the sun would set on some drivers in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship, and right now Casey Kane and Kyle Busch in a desperate situation. Kane took his car to the garage and climbed out just a few moments ago. Talking to Denny Hamlin. Obviously frustrated and disappointed. We'll follow up on that. Right now we're going back to green with 71 to go. David Stremme, obviously. I said Denny Hamlin. I apologize for that.
I'll get you a program for next week.
Would you do that?
A little bit.
Hamlin restarts 15th.
Right out a little collision back there between 1 and 2. Kurt Busch, David Gilliland, and somebody else.
Well, there's still guys in the middle there.
Like Elliott Sadler in the other Aronham car. It's time to get racy, though, isn't it? Going to get anything, it's time to try to get it. And Tony Stewart looks like he's going to try to get that lead from Jimmy Johnson.
Stewart's car a little bit better getting down to the middle, but it looks like Jimmy Johnson's car is a little bit better from the middle off the corner.
I'll take from the middle off about every time.
Absolutely. And if remember, you know, we've been talking about, I think it was Matt was talking about the 20 car being loose in. Don't want to be loose in at Atlanta. Gosh, it's hard to turn that steering wheel down into the corner if you're loose in.
Because you're running about 109 in the walls up there when the thing spins around.
Okay, we'll watch the guys running up front. Check with Marty back in the garage.
And Bill, Casey Kane's had a moment to calm down. He's talked to Ray Evernham. What happened on the track?
Just the error by the driver. I mean, I knew he was there, and then I forgot he was there and just ran over him. I was looking ahead, trying to think where I was going to go next, and just screwed the whole deal up. So I don't know what to say other than that. McDonald's Dodge Charger was very good. It was so freaking loose the first half of the race, and we just kept making it better and better. The track was coming to us. I mean, it was a matter of time we were going to be leading that thing, and it was going to be fast, but driver error.
And I know a win started to creep into your mind because you guys were making the car better throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, we were making it better, and the track was coming to us. Everything we looked at, you know, everything we set up for yesterday was happening. Everything was going perfectly, and screwed up, so it's disappointing. I think we had a shot at a good championship run.
And then your friend David Strimmy had a few words for you. What did he have to say?
I really couldn't understand what he was talking about. He asked me what happened. I told him I screwed up. I ran him over. It was all my fault. And then he goes, I don't know what your deal is. I was on the outside of you, da, 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 da. And I go, I just told you. I ran you over. It was my fault. Get out of here. Shut that.
Yeah, well, obviously a lot of frustrations, and we have a battle for the lead on the racetrack with the 9 team trying to get Casey back out on the racetrack, Bill.
All right, Marty, thanks a lot. Good job down there.
I love the way Tony Stewart is finding a new line, trying to find a new way to catch the 48 car, because he felt like as long as they were running in exactly the same spot, he was going to struggle to get by. But he moved up a little bit, trying to get some of that air on those front fenders, get some downforce. And it looks like it might be working. See, watch him go in here. Watch him drive up on the outside of that 48.
Well, the 48 just got a little bit loose down there. Just that little bit of loose was enough where he had to get out of the throttle just for a second. And that was enough for a 20 car, Tony Stewart, to take the lead.
New leader, Tony Stewart. Matt.
Bill, it looks like he came close to dusting off the cushion there when he made his pass on the outside of the 48 to Johnson. One note that Stewart made about 5 laps ago, he says, you can see the sun has set. The temperature is going to drop and drop drastically over about the next 20 minutes. To keep that in mind, so when they make another stop, they know how far to adjust on this 20 car. Johnson felt like his car was just not too good at the beginning of the run, just much, much better later in the run.
Thanks a lot, Matt. We'll watch how that works out as the laps tick down here. Back to the garage and Marty.
Well, in the interest of equal time, let's give David Strimmy a chance. You had some words for your friend Casey Kane. What do you have to say?
I just asked him what happened, and he said he screwed up. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anybody's seen that. You know, I pulled up 1 and 2, let him have the bottom, and I'm on the outside. And he said his spotter didn't say I was there, but it's pretty obvious I was next to him. And just misfortune for us because we're, you know, fighting to stay in the top 35. And you know, I understand he's in the chase too. So I mean, it's not like we're racing hard one another. So I guess everybody screws up once in a while. It's just a misfortune for a Coors Light Dodge. And go back and have me a beer now.
And Bill, as you can tell, a lot of frustrations down here in the garage area at the current moment.
Yeah, because so many guys are racing for so many different things. Obviously, 10 guys racing for the championship, but everybody's racing for something, including pride.
This is pretty much a trophy dash right here. These guys have got to run the next 30 laps as hard as they can. They're not saving anything. You can't.
If you try to save anything, they're going to pass you from behind.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Harvick a little bit loose. Slides up the racetrack. Everybody splits him.
Gordon got by him.
He does not want to be there. See.
Harvick is 30th. 4 laps down.
He wants to get out of that middle.
Wants to get out of Atlanta. Meanwhile, Stewart trying to break away. That's a mess back in there. Mark Martin is back in that pack, in that 6 car.
See Truex right there, up to 6th spot right now. Just got by Biffle. Mark Martin, yeah, he's kind of blocked in.
Sterling Marlin at 14 car.
Yeah, I think you're right. The 29's looking for the exit.
Yeah. Mark Martin runs in the 11th spot. He's one of the contenders for the championship. Denny Hamlin in 14th. Jeff Burton is 17th, but 2 laps down after he had to pit because of a cut tire.
He spun the tires a little bit there in that restart. Junior did. And that's going to cost him a little bit. And boy, look at how those 4 tires stick.
3 wide and turn 2.
Oh,
Right behind the leaders. Mark Martin is in it.
Got Sterling Marlin, Jarrett, Boyer,
Mears.
Yeah. Oh.
Caution is out. Kyle Busch saw his championship chances in today. So did Casey Kane. And now it appears the same fate for Mark Martin.
And Rick Monroe once again waves the caution flag. Let's see what might have happened here. Well, that could be the problem down there.
It all started with Kenny Wallace down there in the 78 car. It looks like he got down on the apron. He got pinched by the 66 car. They had to slow down. Chain reaction. Everybody started checking up.
Outside. Stay down, right there. Caution's out, outside.
Jeff Burton missed another one. This is on board with Dale Jarrett. He was in it.
Get up here, stay down.
There's nowhere for Jarrett to go.
No.
I mean, it just, he was locked in. I guess the 66 didn't block the 78. It looked like Kenny Wallace had some trouble down there on the bottom, which all these guys checked up because of, but
there's Mark. 4 times he's finished 2nd in the championship standings.
Mark, you know, at Charlotte he said it's over, and he goes to Martinsville and he gets a little hint of hope again. Well, guess what, Mark? You're right at Charlotte. It is over. Now let's watch for this high camera. See those cars?
All the 66 is on the bottom.
Right.
Kenny Wallace comes down over the 66. They check up. Now all the guys behind them start checking up, but some of the guys don't see what's going on, and they run into each other. So it started with Jeff Green and Kenny Wallace.
Right. And then Sterling checked up, and that's where Mark got into.
Right.
Sterling Marlin in the 14.
Bobby Labonte, the 43 car, he checked up to avoid the crash. Sterling backed up, and by the time he got to Mark Martin, there's nothing he could do.
To go. Bobby Labonte was the lucky dog in the 43 car. Junior on older tires trying to hold off Tony Stewart.
Not going to happen.
Remember, Junior said he had to be more aggressive.
I don't know how much more aggressive he can be at this racetrack, but he falls in. Now you see Jimmy Johnson underneath Edwards. He's got 4 tires. Don't forget, Edwards only has 2. So he'll take that spot. 10 to go.
Johnson down low on Edwards. Matt Kenseth closing up behind them. Then Greg Biffle, and we've documented his comeback today as well. Stewart is not running for the championship, did not make the chase, but is the race leader. Earnhardt and Johnson and Kenseth are.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed by the 8 car down on our Junior. He's running pretty decently. Not to have stopped and changed tires.
Junior in 2nd.
You're right, BP. I am too. I mean, you've got a lot of those guys behind him are on 4 tires. We've got 9 laps to go.
And the last time by, he was only a 1/10 of a second slower than Tony Stewart.
Kenseth trying to get under Edwards. Those are teammates. They both drive for car owner Jack Roush, as does Biffle, the car behind the 17.
And actually, Edwards is helping Earnhardt because these guys are having a hard time getting by Edwards. That's buying Earnhardt some time. Meantime, Stewart's he's going.
Jimmy Johnson goes by the 8 car, takes over that second position, but does he have enough time? 7.5 laps. Can he catch Tony Stewart?
Meanwhile, Kenseth is really hung up behind Edwards. Dives to the inside. Stewart tries to pull away. Johnson will give chase. 7 to go. That's for 4th. Kenseth had it at the line. Biffle is right on their bumper. Again, all 3 of those cars, the 17, the 16, and the 99, are teammates.
What was that smoke from? Oh, is that a fire down in the infield, I guess?
No, I think somebody may have had a problem. There, whoever that is, that's Boyer.
Yep.
Kenseth
squeezes in front. Now goes after Earnhardt.
Allen.
I was just going to report on the fact that Matt Kenseth had not asked for any help getting around his teammate on the radio. His spotter had just said, I'll go down there and talk to Carl's spotter when Matt finished the pass. He never asked for any help. He raced him to get that spot.
And Boyer is posted to his pit stall on pit road. Kenseth tries to chase down Earnhardt for the position and the points. And 5th right there.
Another car very slow off turn 4.
We got somebody smoking off of 4. Yep. Oh,
Bliss.
Bliss. That's too bad. He was in the top 10 right there.
He gets the black flag. Kenseth trying to catch Earnhardt while Johnson continues to try and catch Tony Stewart. That 20 car has been awesome all day in tonight.
4 laps to go.
Kenseth's going to try and get up beside Earnhardt.
Wow. Boy, they come off that corner fast, don't they?
Not kidding.
Look how much faster the 17 is going into the corner, down on the bottom.
3 to go. Stewart leads, Johnson 2nd. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 2 years ago, the championship was decided by 8 points. These positions up front are worth 5 points each.
Junior still hanging tough.
Biffle's just going to follow follow Kenseth. He's not going to pass him to take away the points from him.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
2 to go.
Big picture racing right here for the team anyway.
Stewart the leader, Johnson 2nd. Again, Kenseth down low, Earnhardt in the high groove. Junior making those older tires work. Had 10 green flag laps on them. Stewart takes the white flag, last lap at Atlanta. Can Johnson get there? Can Kenseth get 3rd from Earnhardt? And a car in the wall.
The 07 car.
Boyer trying to keep it high on the track. They've already taken the white flag. If the caution was to come out, the race would be over. Kenseth trying to make a move on the 8 of Earnhardt. This is for 3rd.
Oh, Junior's getting loose. So did the 17. Kenseth's got loose, got on the apron a little bit.
Tony Stewart takes the checkered flag.
Earnhardt. That was close. Earnhardt's going. Did I beat him? Kenseth's going. Did I beat him? That was close.
By 7/1000ths of a second, he beat him.
Tony Stewart out of the chase for the Nextel Cup, wins at Atlanta.
Well, Tony, congratulations. The fence climb's back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time that we had a good chance to do it again, so we ran out of fuel at Kansas City. That's why we couldn't do it there.
Your car was good all race long. You were almost always in the top 5, but it seemed like you did most of your leading after the sun went down. Coincidence or plan?
I just think it was coincidence. I mean, his Chevy Monte Carlo SS was awesome today. It was, you know, we had Bob Nardelli, the CEO of Home Depot, here cheering us on today, and our good buddy Johnny Morris from Bass Pro Shops here who sponsored this race. And I told him the other night in Macon, Georgia, when we opened up his brand new Bass Pro Shops in Macon, that I wanted that bear really bad. So
buddy, we're glad.
Finally we got it. The first year Johnny sponsored the race here, there was a big old bass on it, and I think I freaked out so bad because I wanted the trophy that I burnt my tires off that last session. So now with this big old bear, now I got something to put in this new house.
Late when they had the last set of pit stops, a couple guys didn't pit, took 2 tires and so on. Any worries on your part that you could get back to the front?
No, when the 99 was the only one that pitted that came out ahead of us, we knew he took 2 tires, and we knew we'd get by him pretty easy. We knew that we could get by the 8 because tires were so important. You know, we were sitting there on the yellow before we had a chance to pit, trying to figure out what we were going to do, and I thought our tires were all right, but as Zippy said, we had lost 0.6 of a second from the beginning of that run to 10 laps later when the caution came out. So with 20 laps to go, we had to put tires on it.
When you did not make the championship chase, you said you just wanted to try and win all 10 races. You've gotten 2. That's not a bad start on that goal.
Yeah, it's better than last year. I mean, last year being in the chase, I couldn't win any of the races at the end, so it's awesome. I mean, if you look behind you and see the size of this trophy and see how unique it is, it's not hard to understand why everybody wanted this thing tonight. I mean, Johnny Morris and everybody at the Bass Pro Shops do such an awesome job of giving us one-of-a-kind artwork for a trophy, and you know, Johnny's the one that got me into the outdoors and has really made me appreciate the outdoors and life and deer and turkey and especially fishing. So I'm going to build a log home in Columbus, Indiana, and that thing's going to go in somewhere really, really special when we get it built.